The royal baby watch is in full force, but Dad was someplace else. Prince William playing polo at a charity match about 100 miles away from the hospital, daring, along with his brother Prince Harry. But we've been told that they do have a royal chopper at the ready the moment Prince William gets the call, and ABC's Lama Hassan on the watch in London tonight.
This modern couple will be following so many traditions passed down through the royal generations, including the announcement when baby Cambridge is being delivered. As soon as Kate has given birth, the palace will issue a formal statement. A royal aide carrying the baby's vital details will leave the hospital, escorted by police and driven to Buckingham Palace. Just as they did when William was born, with an air of historical theatre, a liveried footman accompanied by the Queen's secretary will place those details written on Buckingham Palace notepaper announcing the gender and time of birth. That's when the world finds out. The palace might also release other details. When William was born, they described him as having blue eyes and crying lustily.
A wee William was unveiled to the world 31 years ago, right here on these steps outside of St. Mary's Hospital, where he too is expected to stand right here with his baby any day now.
Hi guys, it is a blissfully rainy day in the drought-plagued wasteland of South Austin, Texas. Hallelujah, we have made it to Monday morning, July 15th, 2013. I'm winding up for my economic meltdown roundup rant. I encourage you to do that, but before I get into it, good God guys, here we go. I just did my final word on the George Zimmerman verdict yesterday, that rant, in case you missed that one, which was pretty much identical to my rant from 2 years ago on the royal wedding. The royal wedding, I cannot even remember who got married. William and Kate. William and Kate. Jesus Christ, who gives a shit on this planet? So anyway, my George Zimmerman rant was identical to my royal wedding rant, which is basically where I just sat there staring into the camera with my mouth shut. And I thought I could take a breather, guys. But now I read this story from the Atlantic Wire. This is what greets me on Monday morning. And so I can make a promise to myself and to you. I, Hambone Littletail, do solemnly swear on my laptop computer that this is the first and the last rant I will ever have on this subject. And here is the headline from today's Atlantic Wire. Get ready for all royal baby news all the time. Atlantic Wire, and I'm assuming this guy named Connor Simpson, and I'm assuming that Mr. Simpson is not joking with this. I would first think this article was a joke, but I think he's shooting straight from the hip. If you thought the coverage of the Zimmerman trial went overboard, just wait for the news networks, meaning the mainstream media news networks on both sides of the Atlantic, to go gaga over this royal baby who would be the deceased Princess Diana's first grandchild and is the first son or daughter of Prince William and Duchess Catherine, also known as Kate, whom you may remember from the royal wedding news overdose 2 summers ago. Actually, I did not remember what their names were. Yes, the watch for William and Kate's first child is the next big news story of the summer, and there is nothing you can do about it, as the New York Times reports. So they have a link to that. There are already throngs of journalists with their fancy umbrellas posted outside St. Mary's Hospital. Some are reporting out of pop-up bureau offices that can double as camping tents. I guess similar to what I'm sitting in here on this rainy day. This despite the fact that Kate isn't even in there. She's hiding out in her mother's house and William is playing polo. But Kate is expected to go into labor any day now, and the media overdosing on monarchy news will rival the headline fatigue brought on by the royal wedding coverage 2 years ago. Just you wait, because it is going to get ridiculous. And it further breaks down the absolute global mainstream media hysteria ramping up now that those zombies, those clueless, dumbed down zombies, have nothing to talk about. Well, I guess they have the verdict from the George Zimmerman non-story of the year to talk about. But once that runs its course, it mercifully runs its course in the next few days, everybody on this planet is going to be, I mean, every media outlet on this planet, not just in England, not just in the United Kingdom, but the most non-story for the zombies is going to completely overrun the media. And this is why I am considering, just one of the many reasons why I am considering that when I begin my vacation, hopefully on Thursday, that I am going to start my own little experiment, both personally and socially, where I am never going for 6 glorious weeks. I am not going to turn on Yahoo News. I am never going to read a newspaper. Well, I haven't turned on a television in years anyway. That I am going to completely ignore world events, the mainstream media news, just so in my travels I can hear what stories actually filter through to me. Understand that I hear from other Americans as I travel around this country what news stories will filter through to me. And I will see if the royal baby story makes its ways to my ears over the next 6 weeks. And my prediction, my doomsday prediction, guys, is that it will. Is that the birth of this little elitist New World Order poster child, the darling of the world's media, will filter through to this doomsday prophet's ears. But since I have made a promise never to mention this story again, all I can say to anybody listening to me, whether or not you are part of Humpty Dumpty tribe, if you tune in to one story on this. You are a zombie. You are a clueless, brainless zombie. You are one of the dumbed down sheeple who completely hopeless. And I'm talking to you. If you fall for this shit, you are as big a victim. Well, guys, you're completely hopeless. I am ashamed to have you in Humpty Dumpty Tribe. If you're here, I have nothing but pity for you. If you pay one iota of attention to what will be the single biggest non-news story of the year 2013, and my guess, it will dwarf the non-news story of the George Zimmerman trial. And this is my final word. I hope to hell that I can keep this promise to myself and to you, that I will never again mention the single biggest non-news story on this planet for the rest of this year. And with this promise, I will wrap up this little rant and move on for anybody who cares. Because I assure you that about 1/100th of 1% of the people hanging on the news coming out of St. Mary's Hospital give a shit about the impending collapse of the U.S. and the global economy, which is what I'm getting ready to talk about in my next rant for the 10 or 12 people on this planet who care to listen to it. Bye, guys.